From today, it is illegal to create a sexually explicit deepfake image. That's when AI is used to make a sexual or naked image of a person without their consent, of course.
Former Love Island star Cally Jane Beech had fake images of herself created, but doesn't think the change in law is enough. So later this morning, she's going to be heading to Number 10 to petition the government to take more action. Well, Cally joins us along with cybersecurity expert Jake Moore. So, Cally, just remind us of what happened to you, really, and how it affected you.
So I basically received a text message. Someone said, did you know that there's this nude picture of you on the internet? And I said, no, it can't be me. I haven't taken a picture like that. They said, no, it's definitely you. So I asked them to send me the link. I followed it through, and to my shock, it was me. I knew exactly what the picture was, exactly from when it was and where it was, my old house and my bedroom.
Gosh.
Except it was an underwear campaign that I'd done at the time. So I had a full set on. And it was gone. So, yeah, it was shocking. I was following through where that link was hosted on Google because I wanted to know how this happened. And up until this point, I was kind of unaware of what deepfakes really were. I followed it through, and then there was a global site basically advertising, saying, you know, nudify any woman, you know, click down, follow through, download the app, fulfill your fantasies, all that kind of thing. And there was all different, you know, women on there, people requesting, can you nudify this person? Can you nudify that person?
Terrifying.
And it was just shocking. So obviously I went to the police. Well, I took to social media first. They said,
Did you
go
know
to
it
the
was
police.
illegal, though, at the time?
No. But I thought that it would be,
illegal.
that something could have been done about it. And, you know, my followers was really supportive of it and said, you know, go to the police, log it, this is happening. And that's when I realised it was a really big deal, but it just wasn't spoke about as much.
I mean, it must have been deeply upsetting for you and
yeah,
horrifying.
I think it was shock, you know, when you kind of not quite sure how to act. I didn't know whether to be upset, whether to kind of laugh it off. And then I kind of felt like I'd been targeted as somebody done this to try and, you know, like ruin me or upset me or hurt me in some kind of way. So then you start thinking about that and who that could possibly be. So
it was a massive intrusion, isn't it? It's massive.
Yeah.
So these new laws that are set to make it illegal, not just to do it, but also to request it, to try and make it happen. Why do they not go far enough? Is it some help? But what is the weakness in it?
I think the weak part of it is maybe it's just there to kind of deter.
Right.
Like I said, you know, we was chatting backstage and it took 2 years for it to even get to that point, from it just being, you know, about creating the images, the sexual things. It's been like a long campaign battle that people probably haven't seen in the background.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, you know, you can kind of put punishment there for people who are requesting it and creating it. But the major problem is the tech platforms that are hosting it.
Well, we saw Grok had to they did this awful thing where they said, oh, we'll just do it as a pay-as-you-go type thing. You know, that was their response to the huge outcry over it. And then they had to roll back again.
Profiting off the abuse of, you know, this kind of...
Yes, it's a money-making industry.
Exactly, yeah.
Jake, do you see any advantage? Because could be, if caught, fines, even prison sentences. Is that a tool in fighting this, and why is it not enough?
I think this is the start of the deterrent, but it goes back so many years. So 10 years ago, I was in the cybercrime team in my police force at the start of investigating this new technology, seeing that it was a problem then. And it's taken so many years to get to where we are now. Now, 2 years ago, it was made illegal to share these intimate deepfakes. It then took another further 2 years to then make it illegal to request or create those intimate images, which just shows that the law is once again too far behind and potentially not doing enough. But at least this is a starting block into, say, putting those blockers into these apps and websites that offer this type of material.
And we put these apps that create these images, because I suppose the thing is, you think, OK, well, it's the law today, so it's got to stop. But of course, technology giants, people who make money out of this will always find a way to just keep going. So you've been checking that out, haven't you, Jake, in the last 24 hours, is that right?
Yeah, so we did some research yesterday. and those apps and websites are available. We've checked again today, and unfortunately, they are still live. So I urge anyone, if they were to see any of these types of apps on their App Store or Play Store, to go and report them. It's really important to report them because these things work in numbers. If you all get together and keep clicking report, it does make a difference.
And one of the loopholes, I think, is probably that the technology that's used to nudify images, which is now illegal from today in the UK, it's being treated as, oh no, that's just an unfortunate side effect of this thing that the other purposes of this technology. That's right. I haven't really described it very well because you're the cybersecurity expert.
The other purposes?
But what is the purpose of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
because if it still exists, they're obviously going to get away with hiding behind another excuse for why they've still got the technology available at all.
Yeah, and this is because AI has just exploded in the last few years, and we haven't really been able to bring the regulation under control. The fact that Grok and X were able to offer this quite brazenly without those safeguards in place just shows that it's exploding far too quickly. Luckily, with the campaign that Cally's doing, it's fantastic, and it's being able to really try and hammer it home. But unfortunately, this technology is just so widespread, and we're only at the brink of this, so we need to work with government to try and take a hold of it.
So it isn't that there was ever a use for nudifying images, it's the technology to manipulate images, which might be being used for, you know, a creative project or something that someone's doing, that in the hands of the wrong people or the minds of the wrong people gets used. And you say that it's going too quickly. Of course it is, it's like a wildfire, but how do you stop it?
I think it needed restrictions from the off. Like, we should not be releasing, you know, tech and platforms onto major global sites like X. And we said this earlier, didn't we? If you didn't know about it, you know about it now. Because of people was just seeing that on their social feed without asking, and it's just there. You know. That should have never gone live, never been uploaded, because those restrictions, if they can create something so complicated, how can they not have those restrictions that nobody can request to strip, nudify, explicit? It should just not be allowed.
No. And what's your advice to anybody? Because, of course, you're in the public eye, you're on Love Island, and people might think, oh, this is what happens to famous people. But it can happen to anybody. It can happen to a teenager, a boy or a girl at school. I mean, there is nothing to stop anybody, if they have ill intent, using these apps even today, regardless of the fact that it's now a crime to even do it. Never mind share it.
I think it's not the case of being, you know, on social media. There's even people, you know, in this scary world, we do, you know, pull back a little bit with our children. They're like, don't post your children online. It can be as simple as, you know, I spoke to a lady in Parliament, and she actually worked in the police force. She had no real social media. She had a private Facebook account. She only ever posted pictures of her and a dog. And it was actually an ex-partner that she'd obviously taken a selfie with over the time. So he used that one image on his phone to then create that image to then have a global... Yeah, and humiliate her. And that was nothing to do with being active on social media. She was going about her life. She said, I was very private, had a, you know, normal job, and it was just used as a bit of a revenge,
so
really, a bit of a laugh.
So your advice to anybody who finds themselves a victim?
Definitely report it. Definitely report it.
It's really important to report it to your local police force because they haven't got much data. And it tends to be where police forces need this data to put any extra actions in place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to both of you. If you've been affected by any of the issues, if you've encountered this, then A, report it to your local police force, like Jake said, but also there is help and support available at itv.com/helplines.